How are you guys doing? Okay, so I am from America, so you gotta, for like the least the next half hour, play along with me. So who's ready to play along? No, that's not how it is. You gotta say, I'm originally from North Carolina, so you gotta put a little woo in it, okay? So even if it feels strange, right, we always talk about everything that you want is where? Right outside your what? Outside your comfort zone. So those of you that aren't new, that's the truth. Everything that you want is outside your comfort zone. So how many of you are willing for the next 30 minutes to at least be out of your comfort zone just a little bit? Okay. Thank you very much for that. All right, so I am very honored to be here. We just got here today. My daughter, it's her first trip to London. So how many of you, is this your first time here tonight? So why did you come tonight? Of any of the things you could have done in London, why did you come here tonight? Why? Why'd you come here? Why'd you come? This is where you step out of your comfort zone. Come on. Why'd you come this evening?
To be inspired.
Okay, what does to be inspired mean to you?
To be enlightened.
Inspiration to do things?
To what? To have what? You can do it.
Inspiration to do things?
Inspiration to do things. Why else did you come tonight?
To learn something.
To learn something. Why else did you come tonight?
To be empowered.
The community. Very good. Why else did you come?
To be empowered.
To be empowered. And so she shared a little bit with you about, I've worked for Tony for the past 26 years. So I started when I was 2.5. So I actually turned 51 next month. And honestly, I feel better in my 50s than I did in my 20s. And so I hope what you'll get from me for at least the next 30 minutes, is to really, I will tell you, I have taken all these tools that I've learned from personal development and really decide how can I apply it to my career, how can I apply it to my relationships, how can I really go out there and I say, Goya, get off my ass and do something. So tonight, for at least the 30 minutes with me, we're going to get off our ass. So are you guys all good?
Yes.
Will you get off your ass?
Yes.
How many of you will get off your ass? Okay, so is anybody offended by the word ass?
No.
Okay, so that means here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a game. But you got to play this game like you're 6 years old.
Oh, good.
Okay? So who's ready to play?
Yeah.
Come on, give me a little better than that. Who's ready to play? All right, that's better. Now, the name of this game is called Bottoms Up. What's the name of the game?
Bottoms up.
Okay, there's only one rule of this game. How many rules of this game?
One.
Okay, let's try it again. How many rules of this game?
One.
There's only one rule of this game. The one rule of this game is everything except your hands must be off the ground for a count of 3 seconds. Everything except your hands has to be off the ground for a count of 3 seconds. So what's the name of the game again?
Bottoms up.
Okay, what's the only rule of the game?
One rule.
One rule is what? Everything except your hands have to be off the ground for a count of 3 seconds. So, can everybody see me? Can everybody see me if I'm going to get on the ground right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so can I borrow you? May I borrow you? Okay. Give her a big hand, guys. Come on, give her a big hand. Okay, so what's the only rule of this game? Only rule of this game is everything what? Except your hands have to be off the ground for a count of 3 seconds. So, okay, so come here. Okay, if you can't see, come here, just come on over here. Yeah, come on. Come on now, can you see me? You see us? Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
There's over there. Is everybody watching? Okay, so what's the only rule of the game? Everything except your hands have to be off the ground for a count of 3 seconds. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go play the game. Go play the game. Go, good job. What else? Go, come on, go play the game. You promised me you'd be a kid. You promised me you'd be a kid. Very good. Very nice. Very nice.
1, 2, 3.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, come on back to your seats. Come on back to your seats. Okay. Good job. Okay, so first of all, let me ask you a question. Does it feel different in here than it did 2 minutes ago? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why does it feel different now than it did 2 minutes ago? Because you got off your ass. Right? Now let me ask you a question. Were we even successful up here?
Not really.
No.
Did I ever say you had to do with a partner?
No.
Now you guys are lucky because a lot of you saw somebody, modeled somebody right away who got it without having a partner. But what most people do is they get with a partner, and then what do? Even though we weren't successful, what do? They model what those people are doing. And then when it doesn't work, guess what happens? They push harder. They go, I'm gonna make this happen, I'm gonna make this happen, I'm gonna make this happen. Right? It's kind of like, how many of you have kids? It's kind of like when you first tell your kids when they're little that it's time to take a bath. They go, no. And then you go, come on, let's take a bath. No. And then you push harder and you push harder and you push harder trying to get that result. So here's what, the most important thing about this game is that you must model success, right? So one, there were a million ways you could play this game. A million ways you could do it. You could stand on your chair. You could put your hands up here. The only rule of the game was that you had to be, well, you had to have your everything except your hands off the ground for a count of 3 seconds. So the person, here's what I will share with you. The person that's most resourceful in life always wins. The person that's most resourceful always wins. Are there a bunch of different resources in here you could have used? Yeah?
Yes.
Now, there's some people I couldn't see all the way back, so I don't know about those people in the back. But there's a lot of people going, oh my God, she's American, and she's going to play this stupid game, and really? Or they might go, oh, I got a bad back. Or, oh, I'm wearing a dress. Or, oh, I got a bad shoulder. Or it's too wet. It's too cold or too hard, right? And then what do? We talk ourselves out of things before we've even what? Before we've even, gotten started. Decide to really get in the game. So I know what is, and I just admire you so much for creating this, opportunity for people to really be inspired. But let me tell you, you've got to inspire you. I'm going to tell you, I'll share a little bit more about my secrets, but here's what I will share with you and go into a little bit more. One thing that I'll share what I've learned after the past 26 years of being in this environment is that I got to be me. I love and respect Tony immensely, but my job is not to be a little Tony Robbins. You guys get that? Because to be someone I'm not is to waste the person I am. So the most important thing that I'll share with you, and I'm going to say it's 5 things. You got to look at 5 things. 1, how you start your day is the most important thing that you can do. I don't care what anybody else teaches about anything else. The most important thing, and everybody, I was just watching, there was a thing on the plane, it's called Follow the Leader. It's about, have you heard about it? It's a show, and they go out there, and they watch leaders to see what they do. And they were interviewing John Paul DeJourian. And he talks so much about the rituals and the things that he did, that he does every single day, right? So you look at many different real leaders out there. It's how they start your day. So for me, even though I didn't sleep all night, I was on a plane in here. The minute that I got off that plane, I said, today's going to be the best day of my life again. And I assume that day is going to be rocking, right? So what is the first thing that you say to yourself first thing in the morning? What is the first thing that you look at? Is it something that inspires you, that you go, yes, that's it? So if it's not, then I'm wanting you to go home. You can choose, you can do whatever you want. But look, look at your surroundings and does this inspire me? When I wake up, am I inspired from the minute that I wake up? The answer should be yes. Maybe you need to put a mirror right there. Maybe you need to inspire yourself. Right? What is it? Does that inspire you first thing in the morning? Second thing, really get out there and really do those things. For me, it's my I am statements. I'm loving, I'm honest, I'm caring, I'm full of faith, I'm God's girl, I'm Tomb Raider type, I'm a sexy mama, I'm hilarious, whatever. And no one can take that away from me unless I give it to them. Nobody. If they go, oh, she's not that. And I'm like, I don't choose to buy that. Right? So we've got to come up with those things. Then you've got to come up with what I would call your non-negotiables, that people can't talk you out of something. What is it? Is it you're grateful for the day? Is it you're, that you appreciate something in nature? And do those things. So that should be like your one thing. How many of you already have great rituals for yourself in the morning? Awesome. So rituals are super important. You got to take 5. I love cell phones. I know that sounds crazy, but I use it where it's to my advantage. Right? I'll schedule what I say 5 minutes. I'll have an alarm that goes off. And it'll say, take 5 minutes, to do squats. I don't do 5 minutes of squats. but the alarm goes off and reminds me that sugar but an alarm goes off, or at 4:36 an alarm goes off and it says breathe, right? At 12 o'clock an alarm goes off and says think of my gifts and who I can share those with. So that's one ritual. One ritual. Take 5 minutes for your health. If you say you don't have time to work out, take 5 minutes. Walk around the block for 5 minutes. Just take 5. And think about it. If you took 5 minutes for just 5 things, 5 areas of your life. Lots of times Tony will call it the wheel of life. Jim Rohn calls it check up from the neck up. Everybody's got theirs, right? So if you take 5 minutes for your relationship, 5 minutes for your health, 5 minutes for your faith, 5 minutes for your finances, right? Take 5 minutes for your contribution. Would your life change, yes or no?
Yes.
Right? So, and if anything, I'm sure everybody has, you're doing great in your lives. I'm sure you're doing awesome in your life, but can we get better? Is it our job to get better? Yes? You're either growing or you're what? Dying. You're either growing or you're dying. So it's our job to continually to grow. That's obviously what I've learned. But the other thing is just to really be you. What really makes you unique? What are some of the things that you do here in the room as careers? Just yell them out.
Model.
Huh?
Model.
A model, yes you are. A beautiful model at that. Yes. What else do you do? Those of you that are here in the room. Coaches, I know there's coaches that are here.
Set designer.
Set designer.
Filmmaker.
Huh?
Filmmaker.
Filmmaker.
Finance director.
Finance director.
Speaker.
Speaker.
Music manager.
Beauty manager.
Music manager.
Music manager. Music manager. So there's singer.
Energy healer.
Energy healer. So there's a lot of different things. Is it all energy? Yes or no?
Yes.
And if your energy, can you tell when you want to be with somebody, when you go, I am not, I am not, I'm out of here. Yes or no?
Yes.
No matter what it is. And what is it that causes that? It causes based on that person's state. How they are, what they truly decide to believe in, that they're so grounded and that they know it. They just know that's who they are. And the other thing is, with regard to it is that I believe, that intention is important. One of my dearest friends is John Ashraf from The Secret, and he talks about intention and attention. Those are great, but you got to go do something. You got to do something. There's a lot of people that I know that intend and attend all over themselves, but they talk about it for years. They're preparing, ready, right? And they're busy getting ready, or they get stuck in what I would call seminar soup. People that get stuck in seminar soup, they jump from one thing to another, and they're looking for this like magic beam, but then they forget what? Who do they really have to inspire? They got to inspire themselves. How many of you understand this? At the core, like really at that core level. So what are those things? So first thing we talked about, first thing that you do every single morning. The other thing that I find extremely, what I've seen, whether it be with your kids or whether it be with your business, is really looking at what we call like block times. Like, do you take times and you go, I'm busy. And that you do that. And you might be busy in appointments, but that could be busy in appointments making sure you're taking care of who? You. That you're really taking care of yourself. Right? I will tell you personally, for me, when I really started to do this, learn this one word, my life changed for the better. Like, you wouldn't believe. Anybody know what that word is? No. No. Yes. It was that word no, right? It was that word no, because understanding that those boundaries with regards to, and I was never going to make everybody happy, right? I was never going to really go that. And I remember with the day, it was one day, and I went from being a 45-year-old little girl to a woman. And I was going through my divorce, and I was rocking with my business. I was like on calls, I was rocking, I was doing this, and I was coaching, and doing all these different things. And then a friend of mine called me. And I saw the phone, and I'm like, oh, I got to pick it up. I haven't talked to her for so long. Who's done that before? You're like, oh, I just got to pick it up. And then I picked the phone up, and there's this small talk, and it was nice for a little bit until I started being more aware. And I started looking, and I was like, oh my gosh, the ask is coming. Who knows what I'm talking about with regards to you? You know that they've called you just because there's something that they want. Anybody know what I'm talking? Yeah? Yeah. So I'm like sitting there listening to the call, and I'm listening there, and I'm like, and I love this friend of mine, but not once did she check on me and my kids when I was going through my divorce. Not once. And it had already been, a year into my divorce, and I was like, wow, And I'm sitting there and I'm listening, and then the ask happens. And she asked me to do something, and I knew it was going to take away from what needed to be a priority for me, which was actually to put food on the table for my kids, right? And I'm on the road about 160 days a year. That's a lot of time on the road. And I remember taking a big, deep breath, and I remember going, you know what? And I said her name. I'm going to have to say no. And it's that day, and she's like, okay. And I'm like, wow, that was really good. Right? I was really proud of myself. And that day, my life shifted because I decided, for me, I decided what I was really going to say yes to. And then I started dating. Anybody ever dated? And I met my now husband. And when I met him, somehow, I actually was in London, now that I think about it. I was in London, and he just happened to send me a picture that a girl by accident sent him of her. Her taking a selfie, and it kind of came to me. You know what I'm talking about now? You guys know what I mean? And I was like, I think you sent this picture to the wrong person. And he's like, oops. And I'm like, dude, you don't get it. He's like, what are you talking about? I go, you freaking don't get it. And it was right after I had my no. I said, I am the freaking catch. And he started laughing. And I go, no. You don't get it. I am the freaking catch of the century. And he's like, and then when we got back, he goes, you're really serious about this? And I go, oh no, I'm serious. I am the freak. If I don't believe I'm the catch of the century, who else is going to believe it? Do you guys understand? Yeah. And I think so many times we really take for granted that of getting ourselves ready for the day. I'm serious. I mean, can I coach? May I coach you?
Yeah.
Who feels that they are in a really great space right now? Right? The rest of you, why aren't you? Why aren't you in that really great space?
Taken by what you said.
Why aren't you? Because what causes us to do that? What causes it? Do we get into that comparison game? Do we get into whatever story? Are we focusing on the past? What is it that causes you to not be at your very best? In all areas of your life, what causes us? It's what? It's ourselves, and really, really, really judging ourselves or comparing, or I'm not where I'm supposed to be, or that financial thing, or whatever that it is for you. So I will tell you, of all these years of doing this, the one thing that I'll tell you is the more action that you take, I don't care what kind of action you judge, but you've got to get out there, and you've got to keep that momentum going. You have to keep that momentum is the most important thing for anything in your life. Momentum, whether it's momentum in your health, momentum in your investing, momentum in your giving, momentum in your energy, whatever that you do. Lots of times I do these programs, she shared with you, I do them to keep me fresh, right? I keep growing. So you've got to look at what areas of your life right now you do not have that momentum in, right? Because as we say, how you do anything is how you do everything. Right? So if you sat back in my little game and go, this is just a stupid game, then you need to look at your life and go, where else am I saying this is stupid? It's just with a friend of mine, and it's kind of a hard story. She just lost her 19-year-old daughter. And unfortunately, it was, they think it was suicide. And before, my friend was pretty critical. I really enjoyed being around her husband, but not so much being around her. She was just very critical of people, and I was like, whoa, I can't do it. It's hard, just to be around her. I love her, and I appreciate her, and it's her husband that's a good friend of mine. I said, and I really want to accept her, but it was hard because she was so critical of people. And on Sunday, I met her and her husband and their kids, and I said, so what's changed? It was only 60 days ago. 2 months ago. And I go, what changed? She goes, you know what, Loren? She goes, I just stopped judging people. She goes, and I feel like maybe my daughter realized that I had to just find myself. She goes, I had to like get me back, and if that's what it took, I mean, what a gift that she gave me, as hard as it is to say that. She goes, but, you know, what was it? You know, she goes, so I can't sit here and judge how she passed. I'm just grateful for this gift. So what part are you really like not really looking at it, or are you going, oh, you know, it's stupid, or oh, this is this, that? What part? I mean, you know what part it is. How many of you know what part it is? Who knows it? I'm just, right. So that's another really important thing for you to do. So everybody stand up real quick. Stand up real quick. And go to somebody and meet somebody you do not know and tell them at least 5 of your I am statements. At least 5. At least 5 of your I am. All right, come on back real quick because I got just a couple minutes left. So real quick, how many of you have gotten value out of this last 18 minutes?
Oh yeah.
Okay. How many of you have gotten some value? Make some noise if you got some value out of this last 18 minutes. All right, awesome. You know, how many of you have been to a Tony Robbins seminar? Anybody? Anybody been to a Tony Robbins seminar? And I was just sharing with a friend of mine that years ago, I was asked to, there's a guy named Joseph McClendon, and when Tony can't speak, he teaches the 2 of the days of his Firewalk weekend. And Joseph couldn't go do this event in Kuala Lumpur, and he goes, Loren, I need you to go do it. And I'm like, Joseph, I can't do it. I've watched all these videos of you, I can't do it. He goes, what do you mean you can't do it? He goes, you talk health every single day. You teach it like every single day. And I'm like, Joseph, I can't do it. He goes, Loren, stop, you can do it. I'm like, Joseph, it's like 7,000 people. I go, I can't do it. And he goes, why can't you do it? I go, you're so funny. I go, and I'm just not that funny. And he goes, but you're real. And what people want now more than anything, you know, is they want to see what's real. They want to see what's real. They want to see what's raw. They want to know that they're not alone, right? They want to know that that's what's a beautiful way, you know, for us to share, is to let people know that they're not alone, right? So right now, it's our responsibility to inspire ourselves and to inspire others. Because you never know what that one thing that's going to do that changes someone's life. You don't know. It could be a smile. It could be a high five. You don't know what it's going to do, where someone's going to just go. And you know, you might find out, which is my last 10 minutes that I'll share with you guys. But I want to end with a story. It's a story, one of my favorite. Anybody read The Prayer of Jabez? The book. Oh, you've never. Go get it on Amazon. It's like 99 cents. And in this book, in a hard copy, yeah, it's in this book. No matter what your religious beliefs are, the book starts off like this and says, "God bless me indeed." That means God wants you to be happy. And the second line of the Prayer of Jabez is, "And expand my territory." That doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. I promise you that. I mean, where does growth happen? During the tough times, right? So the second line is expand my territory. So make me stronger. Make me inspire myself more. Make me go out there and really be able to say, you know what? I'm on. Bring it on, baby. That's what the second line is. So in the book, this guy dies and he goes to heaven. And he's met at the pearly gates by St. Pete. St. Pete goes, welcome to heaven. He goes, here in heaven, you can do whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want. You'll never gain a pound. You can shop. You don't have to pay for a thing. We've even got a Harrods here. That would be nice, huh? And he goes, there's only one rule here in heaven. And that one rule in heaven is you can't go through that one door right there. The guy's like, all right. So he's been around heaven a couple days. Second day, he walks through and he notices that door's open about this much. So what does he do? He goes through the doors because obviously there's no security cameras in heaven, right? And he goes through, and as he's walking, he notices that these ginormous boxes, that they're about as big as this carpet. And as he's walking, the boxes start piling up even more, and piling up even more, and piling up even more. And as he gets closer, he notices that every box has a ribbon on it. And as he gets even closer, he notices that every ribbon has a name on it. And so what does he start to do? He looks for what? His name. And he finally gets there and he sees his name and it's way up high. So he gets on the forklift, he gets up there and he starts pulling down his box. And as he's pulling down the box, guess who walks in? St. Pete. And St. Pete said, I thought I told you not to come in here. He goes, but but the door was open. I had to go in. He goes, and it's in heaven. It's got to be something great in there. And St. Pete says to him, before you open that box, let me tell you what's in that box. He goes, in that box is everything you could have had on earth if you just would have asked for it. Every person that you wanted to help, every foundation you wanted to start, everything, every company you wanted to build, everything, if you just would have asked for it. And that's why community like this is so important. You know, the beautiful thing about community like this is one, you get to be inspired, right? Two, is you don't know what resources are around here. So it's your responsibility to ask. To say, here's my big plans. Here's what I know that I'm here to do. Right? There's another, I don't mean to depress you, but some inspiring, I guess, depressing things have been happening this week. Mm-hmm. My daughter goes to a school, and 8 years ago, a little boy he passed away, and the parents decided instead of taking that one experience that they would turn something beautiful from that experience. And this little boy, his name was Josh, and he was like one of the kindest little boys that anybody knew. And they started a foundation, and it was really cool. What they did was they gave these little cards out, and in there it was the valet guys in Las Vegas that were supposed to give it to customers when they were nice to them. How cool is that? So the valet guy, instead of you giving the valet guy a tip, the valet guy would give you this little card with a $5 gift certificate in there, right? So it was called the Be Kind Foundation. Now, 8 years later, because these parents decided to take something wonderful from that experience and honor their son, this Be Kind Foundation is in 1 million schools.
Wow.
1 million schools. And can you imagine little kids, all the way, their whole thing, how can they earn a Be Kind bracelet? What can they do to be kind to somebody? It's our responsibility to really inspire ourselves so that we can inspire others. So I hope this is valuable to you. Thanks, guys, and back to Shay.